TYT is partnering with Participant Media to help solve the climate crisis. Wouldn't that be great? Now, look, you got to check out our series, 10 Days of Action, to learn more about what you can do to make a difference. And go see an Inconvenient sequel, Truth to Power, in theaters in New York and LA on July 28th and nationwide August 4th.
Anthony Scaramucci's wife has filed for divorce. That's right. The new White House new communications director has, his wife has left him, and apparently it has something to do, according to Page 6, with his naked political ambition. Deidre Ball, who worked as a vice president in investor relations for SkyBridge Capital, the firm he founded in 2005 and sold to ascend to the White House, has filed for divorce from the Mooch after 3 years of marriage, after getting fed up with his ruthless quest to get close to President Trump, whom she despises. Deidre has left him and has filed for divorce. She liked the nice Wall Street life and their home on Long Island, not the insane world of DC. She is tired of his naked ambition, which is so enormous that it left her at her wits' end. She has left him, though they have 2 children together. They were married in 2014 and they began dating in 2011. And now I want to get a response from this panel. You are with someone, they're the love of your life. They start working for Donald Trump. Grounds for divorce, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
That was so
Absolutely.
clear.
I don't think she's leaving him because he's ambitious. I think she's leaving him because he's negotiable. And I think
that's a great point.
You know what I mean? I think it's not because he's ambitious. No, nothing's wrong. There's nothing wrong with ambition, but he has a price. And I don't want to be married to nobody who's called the Mooch. Yeah, what is this? Like, it just sounds like something from a sitcom from the '80s. But
she even donated $5,400 to the congressional campaign of anti-Trump Democrat Kathleen Rice in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't that she was sort of casually against Trump. She's anti-Trump. And like you said, her husband sort of, it seems a lot like he sold himself out to now, work for Donald Trump. Look at all the tweets he deleted. I know you guys, we've talked about this before on this show.
Yeah, I love when he deleted the tweets. He's like, for further transparency, I'm deleting my tweets. Yeah. No, that would be the opposite. Anyway, so, but I actually have a slightly harsher view of her than you do, which is that it's not that he's negotiable or ambitious. She didn't mind either one of them when he was just making cash.
Right.
Like when he was in the financial world and they got a nice house on Long Island, everything was great. Okay, but now you're going to DC and mucking up our name. And now to be fair to her, and also working for a loathsome guy who I can't stand. And that is, potentially an act of great principle. So either way, I support her.
Yeah. Okay. Even shady people have their limits.
Right.
I mean,
it's hard. And to be fair to her, it is super hard to judge her motivation. And maybe she really genuinely loved Mooch, but then was like horrified to find out, because they haven't been married that long, that, this is not the guy I thought he was. If he would work for a guy like Trump, that's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I think there's like an investigation Discovery show. It has to do with murder, nothing about this, but it's who the F did I marry, who the bleep did I marry? Yeah. What I will say is that obviously this is from Page 6, so it's very salacious in how it's reporting, and Ball was not able to reach for a comment, and a representative for the Mooch also has not commented. So we're getting sort of a scandalous twist on this story. While I'm sure there's some element of truth to this, I want to just take a lot of this with a grain of salt. Like, I don't think this is really as soap opera-y as they're making it sound.
Well, and maybe it is, but also that's no wonder there's that Long Island, she liked the Long Island home thing. So I'm now that you point out that it's from the New York Post, I feel bad for falling for it. Because New York Post is a very conservative newspaper owned by Rupert Murdoch, so that's why they might be shivving her by saying like, oh, she liked the Long Island home.
The whole thing is kind of colored in a way that they want. There's a narrative behind it, so just take everything with a grain of salt from New York Post. So, but that said,
I think though, if you're married to somebody and you take a stand, if you say, I don't want to be married to somebody who supports this administration, that says something about her. I think we need more people to do that, because a lot of us are complicit, and that's the biggest problem that we're dealing with when it comes to this Trump. If you don't, a lot of people who tell me, I didn't vote for him because he's a racist. It wasn't about that. It was about money. You supported that bull regardless, and I think that's cool. I think all you women who are married to these guys, you need to leave them. Even the ones who need. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna be good today.
I've asked those questions in meetings. I asked Anna and everything with Jeff Sessions. Any of these guys that work under him, and they get on their knees for him. I was like, they still go home to their wives and their spouses,
turn off.
and then do their wives look at them and go, "Wow, I saw you on TV today. I would lose a lot of respect for the way you're kissing this guy's ass." I would think it would have to be a natural reflex.
Yeah.
It's a turn off.
So look, the question that Grace asked is a super good one. In fact, I want to do a poll about it.
Yes.
I always do the polls when I'm like curious what you guys would do. So we'll call it tytnetwork.com/divorce. Would you divorce your spouse if they started working for Donald Trump? So, because I'm telling you, I'm not sure which way I'd answer, because it's one thing when it's theoretical, but when you think about it in the real world, number one, I mean, I love my wife, I got kids, I don't want to divorce my wife, that's nuts, right? But if she supports Donald Trump, that's deeply disturbing, but I'm not getting divorced over a wrong vote, right?
Right.
But you go work for him, and you're his communications advisor, and you're the main person who's supporting and complicit with this monster, man, that now we got a real issue in America, right? So I don't know which way I vote on that. I'm gonna take the weekend to think about it, but that I see why she did what she did. And to Ida's point, look, Ivanka Trump is constantly saying, "I'm not complicit, I'm not complicit," and then, but she is.
Yeah.
She's never fought on any issue that we can see. And she certainly never won on any issue that we've seen where she's pulled Trump to be more moderate. She claimed to be a friend of the LGBT community, and Trump just destroyed that.
Lols.
Right? Yeah.
LOL.
So you are complicit, but so here's a person who chose not to be complicit and deserves a ton of credit for that.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. And you know what? Maybe she did it publicly because he is the Mooch. So if something happens to her, now we all know because he is the Mooch.
Oh my gosh.
Right, and one last thing. I mean, it's also probably good timing on her part. Again, I don't want to impugn her motives, but although I did it earlier and I feel bad about it, is that he sold SkyBridge Capital in order to get the Trump White House. And then he didn't make it into the White House because of Reince Priebus. That's why he shivved Reince Priebus in the first place. Now he's in charge. Support independent media. Come join us at the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.